There's a viral clip going around of a woman and her son who believe he's a boy at a doctor's office. And the doctor explains how they're going to implant this young boy with puberty blockers. And then the boy should be able to get on cross-sex hormones within a 2-year period so he can't go through male puberty. I'm warning you now that this clip is not for the faint of heart. I cannot fully watch it because I get really squirmish with needles. So this is a warning to you.
Dr. Olson had a decision.
You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in 2 years.
Around 13.
So let's be clear. This is a 11-year-old boy who very much looks, I mean, you can't deny it, looks like a girl. And there's a doctor saying, we're going to put you on cross-sex or puberty blockers right now. And then at the age of 13, we'll put you on cross-sex hormones. Okay, let's keep listening.
Yes, you're not going to develop breast buds on the blockers, but you're not going to wait until 16 to start. You know that, okay?
Josie received the blockers as an implant in her arm.
It's okay if you cry.
So with all the bravery she could muster,
You're going to feel a little bit of a...
Josie held on tight as another chapter opened in this young girl's life.
They're really doing their best to make it seem like, oh, it's so good for this young boy to be getting needles shoved into their arm full of things that are going to stop them from going through normal puberty. Like the way that they changed maybe it's just like my producer brain going, but I'm like, but then why are you like adding the upbeat music to it? Trying to make everybody seem super happy about this. This is not a happy thing. This is a very scary thing.
Closing up the skin.
A lot of times it strikes me that had this happened just 20 years ago,
Thank you.
I wouldn't have been able to give her blockers and she would have had to go through male puberty.
So she says, 20 years ago, this wouldn't have happened. This boy who believes he's a girl would have had to go through male puberty. Yeah, because 20 years ago we were sane. Somewhat. I mean, not like really, but like we were kind of sane, right? Ugh. Not anymore. Everything's for money now.
That terrifies me.
It's all done. Do you want a hug?
I don't know that she would have survived male puberty.
It's disgusting. It's literally disgusting what this is doing. This is, first of all, let's just talk about the doctor. The doctor this is malpractice, okay? It is malpractice. Puberty blockers by design are created and approved by the FDA to stop what we call precocious puberty. Precocious puberty is when mostly girls, but sometimes boys start puberty way too early and it makes them really uncomfortable. They get their periods too early. There's just a lot of things, okay? It's really uncomfortable stuff. And you get on a puberty blocker for like a year and then you get off the puberty blocker and everything starts going back to normal, okay? Then your body starts to pick things up. Puberty blockers, when they're used for transgender care, completely stops puberty. Then and you use it for way longer than it's supposed to be prescribed by the FDA or approved by the FDA. And then after that, they'll do 2 years on that. And then after that, they'll put kids on cross-sex hormones, which if you're a boy, you'll get on estrogen. If you're a girl, you'll get on testosterone, if that makes sense. There are a lot of people calling for this doctor to have her license revoked for what she's doing. This is very obvious that people are saying this. It's a common criticism. But one of the other common pushbacks that I think is honestly more disgusting is pushing this transgender agenda on your child. And what that is called commonly is Munchausen by proxy syndrome, or some people call it Munchausen syndrome by proxy. I'm not quite sure which it is. But it's actually, if you're familiar with the story, it's actually what Gypsy Rose Blanchard's mom had. And since Gypsy Rose Blanchard is the name on everyone's frickin' lips this day, it's just interesting that, these are the two things. We talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and she's this hero, right, for somehow she's a hero. I don't agree with it, but she's like a hero in America's eyes for saying, oh, we have this crazy mom and she unalived. And I don't use that as a woke word. I use that as like a word so I don't get dinged in the algorithm. She unalived her mom solely because her mom had Munchausen by proxy syndrome. But then when it comes to this whole transgender ideology, it's not the same. It's not taken the same. But if you don't know what this whole Munchausen syndrome by proxy is, it's like a psychological disease where caretakers get a high from the attention that their child gets from being ill. So in Gypsy Rose's case, her mom was getting a high off of constantly taking care of her, getting her attention for how sick Gypsy Rose was sick. So she just faked all these illnesses for Gypsy Rose, kept her on pills, kept her on doctor's appointments. And this, to me, this is no different. It's just done in the name of something that is ideologically important to political progressives, right? To me, there's no difference between Gypsy Rose's mom faking an illness to get attention for her daughter and a mom who is pushing their child to be the opposite sex. So yeah, there's another clip that many people online are saying fully indicates that this woman, this mom, has Munchausen syndrome by proxy. So I want to show you guys this other clip.
Everything I thought I knew is kind of in question.
Had Vanessa's wholehearted, unwavering support of Josie's transition actually pushed her child too far, too fast?
So that's a good question. Is by the mom or the dad of a child who believes they're transgender, when they're all in on it, is it too far? Like, does it push the kid? Because sometimes, and I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes it is a good psychological question to ask, like, hey, are these kids really doing this as because they genuinely feel this way? Or are they saying they're transgender because they're looking for attention? They're looking for a way to like rebel. But then there are some parents who are like all in on it. And I think the parents have to wonder, hey, are you doing something right? Are you actually helping your kid by doing this? I don't think so. But I don't know. Let's keep watching this video.
The thought of her having made such a huge decision in her life, all based on what she thought I wanted, that would be traumatic for me.
It is traumatic, though, for the kids, right? It's traumatic for them to have to undergo any of this transgender stuff. So why parents want this for their kids is kind of beyond me. It kind of reminds me of, this is maybe a little too far, but there was this video of, I remember this woman, she's a black woman on TikTok, holding her baby, and she was like, holding the baby, swinging it, and said like, you could be whatever you want, but please be gay baby, be a gay baby. It's so weird. It's truly this weird obsession with wanting your kid to have attention and constantly get attention. It's odd.